The Miss South Africa beauty pageant has come under fire for the inclusion of 23-year-old Chidimma Adetshina, whose citizen has been under scrutiny. Home Affairs Deputy Minister Njabulo Nzuza has also commented on the Adetshina saga, and this is what he had to say.
Clearly set out that the policy and the law is very clear. For a person to have been South African or citizenship by birth, you need to have been born out of South African parents, or one of your parents must have been South African. That's a policy perspective. It is very clear. I don't think we can dwell much into it, and I don't think really there is a need for us to even question policy. It's there, it's by law. If you go to the internet, you download the Citizenship Act, it will tell you exactly that.
When Mdntv approached Miss South Africa for comment to clarify itself on why it had included Adetshina, the organization failed to respond. Mdntv visited an address which was on the Miss South Africa website.
5 years, 5 or 6 years.
We spoke to Anele Mda, who has been vocal on this issue, and this is what she had to say.
Firstly, we reached out to Miss SA organization to ensure that there is a correspondence that is at their disposal that registers the concerns that have been widely shared by South Africans on the uproar of the inclusion of a non-South African contestant by the name of Chidimma Adetshina. I spoke to a lady who works at the Miss South Africa, a manager by the name of Rosemary Van Say, confirmed the receipt of my letter, and subsequently we had requested a meeting with them on the day, which is the 6th of August, and indeed we descended to their offices, and we were met with a shock of our life, which we believe that South Africans, and information that South Africans do not know, that actually Miss South Africa operate like a thug mafia organization that does not have a physical office where South Africans can go and meet them. That's the shock that we've received, that we've got today. But nonetheless, because we are people that are on the ground, we were able to trace them and track where they were, and we indeed got to be on their tail, because the most important thing here is that we do not have time to waste. The crowning of the new Miss South Africa is taking place this coming Saturday. We do not want them to play a dumb game with us where they will say, because of time, they cannot attend to the pressing issues that relates to the controversy of the inclusion of a foreigner on the Miss South Africa project.
We also spoke to a young South African woman, Yedi Mashifat.
As a young South African woman who feels passionate in a pageant like Miss South Africa, I don't feel that my heritage or the true essence of what is a South African is represented by a person like Chidimma. It's nothing against her personally. However, we need to acknowledge the fact that although we want to have this one Africa utopia, the reality of the matter is we do have borders at this moment, and we need to work with what we have at the moment to progress. So to be oblivious of the reality and say that, you know what, we want to be represented by just anybody, then that means we should be saying that this is a Miss Africa pageant and not a Miss South Africa. Because yes, she may be a South African by citizenship, but by heritage, we cannot relate to her as a South African.
Part of the controversy is her being born out of a Nigerian father. It is still not clear if her mother is South African or Mozambican.
We have lots of people who have really been patriotic South Africans. They come and tell us that, look into that matter. Here is some prima facie evidence that you can use. And then we say, okay, this is now a serious issue that we have to look into. And we look into those issues. Even this one now, we have received some requests. We are now looking into it better. And the department will pronounce and make findings known once everything has been done. So let's just stick to that particular process.
An ongoing investigation by Home Affairs has found prima facie indications of fraud committed by Chidimma Adetshina's mother. The Department of Home Affairs herewith provides an update on the ongoing investigation into the citizenship of Miss Chidimma Adetshina, a contestant in the upcoming Miss SA event. The reason for the ongoing nature of the investigation is that its scope has broadened since the original request received from the organizers of Miss SA based on the information uncovered by Home Affairs investigators thus far. The department nonetheless provides this update to the public based on that official request and consent. We will provide a final update once the investigation is concluded. Upon receiving the request for investigation, the department deployed every resource at its disposal to establish the truth. This has included archival research, visits to hospitals, and site visits to verify information. From the information we have uncovered thus far, the Department of Home Affairs can indicate that prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs records as Chidimma Adetshina's mother. Adetshina herself could not have participated in the alleged unlawful actions of her mother, as she was an infant at the time when the activities took place in 2001. An innocent South African mother, whose identity may have been stolen as part of the alleged fraud, suffered as a result because she could not register her child.
Chidimma phone, what? Not yet.
Although people are saying, oh no, the constitution says that for as long as you were born in South Africa, that makes you South African, we need to realize that there is a difference between indigenous South Africans and immigrants.
We also visited as a beauty spa where it was said that the contestants were gathering as they pushed for Saturday's finale.
We found that indeed the Miss South Africa finalists are in the precinct, and they were quickly when the establishment informed them that Miss Mda is here, they were quickly taken and hidden away. Hence, they then sent the staff of the establishment to come and say no, they are not here. Their driver is here, their cars are here, and also the confirmation that we got earlier on from the receptionist was that the manager is also here, and that tells you that they know very well that something is dodgy, suspicious, and very much controversial about the manner in which they conducted their business.
I believe the lack of transparency from the organization side is very telling and is very disappointing, because if anything, they are supposed to be going to bat and protecting a person like Chidimma. If they had the valid documentation that says that no, you know what, indeed she is a South African, then that is what they need to be saying and confirming to the rest of the concerned country.
There's everything that we've done that needed to be done on our side, and we can tick those boxes, because ours was to ensure that we elevated a dialogue and a discussion that South Africans must have in reflecting on the extent to which this country is on a silent takeover by foreigners. There are other bodies in this country that have got a core mandate of ensuring that there is a clear, distinct on how we must preserve and protect institutions that are about ensuring that the people that were previously marginalized and that were previously excluded in empowerment spaces, they are now recognized. If those institutions, even though they are empowered by law to act, they do not act, what we needed to do as activists was to ensure that we bring the people of South Africa their voices, we bring them inside, and that the concerns that they have, we elevated them, and we did that. Whether Miss South Africa arrogantly continues to act as if there is nothing suspicious about and dubious about their actions, that's not for us to conclude on. It's for the people of South Africa, and to reach a point where they must really ask themselves, do we need an organization of this nature when it is no longer about advocating for the issues of the people of South Africa, even though it has leveraged its mileage currently? It has only obtained mileage after using issues of black people and black women in particular. Without the inclusion of black women, Miss South Africa organization would have been an empty shell that has got no substance that it can advance in order to understand contextually the issues that fundamentally affect the people it purports to represent.